Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for the least of these, you did not do for me. Matthew 25:45, those are the words of Jesus, talking about when you see somebody that is of lowly status on the street and you do not help them when you have the means to help them, you're not helping Jesus. And it's such a reminder that we need sometimes, because this world is so quick to put us in different boxes, different categories, different status levels. And so many people talk about you only put yourself around people that can elevate you. So there's a reluctance to associate and give time to those that cannot be of any benefit or service to us, unless it's just to pump up the ego, to kind of show off how good we are by giving charity to people who need it. And there's a lot of people who do that, and they post stuff about it, and and they get their reward here because people compliment them here, because that's what they're seeking. They're seeking worldly approval. They're seeking those compliments of, oh, you're such a good person. But I felt extremely convicted today, and it's something that I've maybe talked about here before, but I saw a homeless guy. They're always there at the off-ramps, and I was exiting, I was on my way to a job, and I don't know, just something about him. He reminded me of some other homeless people that have been kind of swindlers on the street before, and my first thought were like, normally I like to think if I have money I would give some, but I rarely have cash these days. But I didn't even think that this time. I just immediately thought, this guy is just, he's just taking advantage, playing on people's empathy. And I felt the hardness, and I immediately was convicted, and I was just like, man, I don't know this guy. The book of Hebrews talks about, do not let your heart become hardened. Galatians 6:9, do not grow weary of doing good. And yet this world wants us to doubt the intentions of people so that we stop doing good, so that we stop loving. 1 Corinthians 13 is all about love. What it defines what love is. Love is patient, love is kind, it doesn't keep score, it is never prideful. All of these things. When you lose faith in people, you're not loving. It says love without, or truth without love, or you can speak in the voice of angels, but if you don't have love, you're a clanging gong, right? So when I project on the people because of past experiences, because based on people that I've encountered, their intentions, I'm not loving. And the only way we can continue to love, I know the only way I can continue to, and I got to pray for grace and mercy every time I fail to, is by focusing on Christ, because that's exactly what he did all the way to the cross. And it's, it's so convicting, because I could give more examples than just seeing a homeless person on the street, but how you treat the least of these is how you treated me, or what you did not do for them is what you did not do for me. Can you imagine going up to Jesus and then realizing that you had met him multiple times behind the face mask of somebody who needed your help in this world and you didn't give it? As I say that, I kind of shudder internally, thinking of the many times I've failed to live up to that standard. And I do remember times when I did live up to it, and I became bitter in certain ways by seeing how people use empathy. They use sympathy of people to get one up, to get by, but it's not allowing that to keep us from doing good, so that when that day does come, when we stand before the throne of judgment, when we're face to face with Jesus, he says, well done, good and faithful servant. You did not let the coldness of this world, the bitter enticement of this world, to keep you from representing me the way that I did. By showing love, by showing grace, by showing respect, by helping when you can help, regardless of, even if that person has bad intentions with money you give them to go get alcohol or drugs or whatever, you would pray that a spark of repentance, of conviction would overcome them when they realize that the only reason you're helping them is because of Jesus and what he did for you. And obviously, anytime you give something, you want to make sure you make a point to mention Jesus, that's where it's coming from, because It's not about what we can give people in this world, but it's who we can point people to. But I just felt convicted about that earlier today, so I thought it was worth sharing. That's it. I pray this finds you well. God bless. Until tomorrow.